Hey there guys, this is Richard, your host, with another marvelous video. Prepare to embark on a journey through the cosmic highway of Star Trek's alien races. From the very beginning of Star Trek the original series, Starfleet's mission has been crystal clear. Explore strange new worlds, seek out new life forms, and boldly go where no one has gone before. And boy, did they deliver! Star Trek has gifted us with a wide range of unforgettable species. They're as diverse as the universe itself. From the chillingly relentless Borg, with their hive mind and insatiable hunger for assimilation, to the serenely logical Vulcans, who suppress their emotions like a boss. All of them are simply a work of art. In this video, we're going to take a good look at every alien race out there. So, fasten your seatbelts and let's engage. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Borg. These cybernetic beings have a history that's as elusive as finding a hidden Easter egg in a movie. They've been around for eons, with their origins stretching back thousands of centuries in the Delta Quadrants of the Milky Way. The Borg, a mysterious bunch of cybernetic badasses. They're not your average Joe or Jane, since they don't even have a concept of individuality. Nope, no single Borg exists within their collective, except for maybe their resident queen, who might be the exception to the rule. Instead, they're all wired up to a hive mind, sharing thoughts and ideas like a massive cosmic Wi-Fi network. These Borg fellas are on a mission. Their grand goal? Perfection. And they're not shy about achieving it through any means necessary, including forcibly assimilating other species, snatching their technologies, and gobbling up all that juicy knowledge, making them one of the most powerful and feared races out there. Now, let's talk about their biology, because it's quite a spectacle. Borg drones are the workhorses of the collective, doing all the heavy lifting and brawling. Each drone has a specific function and designation, and their gadgets and implants might vary depending on the task at hand. Most drones rock a humanoid appearance, but don't underestimate the Borg's willingness to assimilate non-humanoid life forms. They're an equal opportunity assimilator. These Borg drones are like walking Swiss Army knives. They've got all sorts of nifty technologies integrated right into their bodies to help them do their job. For starters, they've got a neural transceiver that keeps them connected to the hive mind. And they're not just all brains. They've got a personal force field to shield them from those energy-based attacks. Each drone's got a pair of assimilation tubules embedded in one hand, ready to inject unlucky humans with Borg nanoprobes faster than you can say, resistance is futile. Now, here's a fun fact. While getting assimilated into the Borg collective turns you into a drone, there's a glimmer of hope. If a drone gets separated from the Borg queen for a good amount of time, they can regain a sense of individuality. It's like breaking free from the hive mind's clutches and getting your mojo back. Oh, and finally there's a neural processor. It's like a Borg's own personal digital diary, keeping track of every single instruction they receive from the hive mind. Vulcans. These brainiac humanoids hail from the planet Vulcan, and they're not your average space dudes. First things first, Vulcans are all about logic and reason. They've got a commitment to the rational that would make Mr. Spock proud. Long ago, these folks were a bit of a hot mess, with their violent tendencies and superstitious ways. But then came along Surak, a Vulcan scholar who dropped some serious knowledge bombs and taught them the ways of logic. Vulcan society has come a long way since then. They've reached a technologically advanced stage of existence, zipping around in spacefaring vessels. In fact, back in 2063, Vulcans made history by being the first extraterrestrial species to officially make contact with us humans. When it comes to appearances, Vulcans are pretty darn similar to us humans. They've got the same basic humanoid structure, but with a couple of twists. You'll spot those iconic arched eyebrows and pointy ears. And let's not forget their cold green blood, giving them a sci-fi flair. These peeps are faster than a turbocharged starship and 3 times stronger than the average human. Plus, their bodies are built to last, with an average lifespan of a whopping 200 Earth years. But it doesn't end there. Vulcans have got some seriously fascinating abilities. Their hearing is off the charts, picking up on even the tiniest of sounds. And get this, they've got complex brains that put our feeble human noggins to shame. Oh, and did I mention they're telepathic? Yeah, Vulcans can read minds just by touching someone's head. It's called the Vulcan Mind Meld, and it's the ultimate cosmic mind trick. And here's a bonus. When Vulcans face their demise, they've got a trick up their sleeve. They can transfer their living essence, called a Katra, into another being or object using the Mind Meld.
The insectoids. We were fortunate.
Xindi. These beings are a collection of 6 smart species that called the same planet in the Delphic expanse their home sweet home. They even had a cool name for it, Xindis. Back in the early 2150s, the Xindi Council decided to shake things up by pulling off a deadly attack on Earth. These Xindi folks made it their mission to mess with humanity, trying to terminate us like it was their day job. As you can imagine, that kind of meddling changed the course of history and set off a whole chain of events that put United Earth on the interstellar map. The Xindi weren't exactly a harmonious bunch. In fact, they had a brutal civil war that tore their home planet apart and left one of their species, the Xindi avians, on the brink of extinction. Now, here's something about their culture. The Xindi had this thing for guardians, like they practically worshipped them. These guardians were seen as saviors, the big heroes on the block. Xindi kids were taught to deeply respect these cosmic beings and show their gratitude at the end of each day. Although in a future timeline, after all they've done, the Xindi finally joined the United Federation of Planets. Klingons. These fierce and feisty humanoids hail from the planet Kronos, or as some of us like to pronounce it, Kronos. And let me tell you, these guys are the masters of the Klingon Empire, ruling over a vast expanse of space that butts right up against the United Federation of Planets and the Romulan Star Empire. When it comes to their reputation, Klingons have a proud and warlike mentality that would make even the mightiest warriors quake. They've got a code, a way of life that's all about being as tough and badass as possible. It gets even wilder. The ancient Klingons were so hardcore that they straight up killed the gods who created them. Why? Well, because those gods were just too much trouble to handle. Klingons are humanoid beings with a strong and upright posture, with no tails. These folks are as tough as they come, with strength that rivals even those pointy-eared Vulcans, who are 3 times stronger than us puny humans. When it comes to appearance, Klingons have mostly hairless skin, just like humans, but they've got some luscious locks up top. I'm talking about thick, glorious hair on their scalps. Here's a fun fact. Klingons might be tough as nails, but they're not the best at handling chilly weather. They're more susceptible to the cold compared to other humanoids like the Trills. Oh, and did I mention they enjoy a good round of drinks? That's right. Alcohol affects Klingons just like it does us, humans. So, when it's time to party, you can raise a glass with your Klingon buddies and share a good time. Also, Klingons and Romulans have similar enough ribosome structures that they can actually receive transfusions from each other. Maybe they're long-lost cousins in the great cosmic family tree. Who knows?
His loyalty is admirable, even if it is misplaced.
Kardashians. These spacefaring folks are a humanoid species with a twist of reptilianoid traits. With their militaristic government ruling over Cardassia Prime in the Cardassian space, these guys were a dominant race in the Alpha Quadrant until the Dominion War came knocking. Before they became the Cardassians we know today, they were called the Habitians. Picture a bunch of religious and peaceful beings, loving arts, architecture, and probably the occasional cosmic yoga session. But alas, their ancient civilization had a rough go of it. Plagues and famine hit them hard, leaving them with a shortage of natural resources. So, what did they do? Well, they adopted a new philosophy. Expand into space, conquer new planets, and fight other species for resources. Physically, Cardassians are a lot like humans. They stand on 2 legs, roughly the same size, and have similar external anatomy. But they've got reptilianoid traits going on. Think scaly ridges running on their head, neck, shoulders, and chest. Their skin comes in various shades of light grey to dark, brownish grey, while their hair is always sleek, black, and perfectly coiffed. And Cardassians also have an excellent photographic memory. It's like they've got a built-in mental camera, capturing every moment with crystal clear precision. Some Cardassians have the ability to resist a Vulcan mind meld. It's like they've got some sort of mental shield saying, "Sorry, Mr. Spock, you're not welcomed here." Now, let's talk technology. While Cardassians may have a militaristic streak, their tech game isn't quite up to par with the Federation or the Klingons. But hey, they've got a kick-ass intelligence service that specializes in espionage, genetic engineering, torture techniques, and even memory wiping. They've got all the gadgets to make James Bond jealous.
Computer, intruder and ops. Activate a level 3 containment field.
Gemhudar. These reptilian creatures mean business, with their grey scales and a monogender society. They're a group of lizard-like warriors ready to kick some intergalactic butt. They don't have your typical upbringing, no stork delivering them to their parents' doorstep. Gemhudar are born in birth chambers, and they go from newborn to full-fledged adult within just 3 days. Adult Gemhudar have a special requirement. They need a chemical called ketracel white to survive. This substance provides them with all the necessary nutrients to keep them going, but there's a catch. They're totally dependent on it. The founders, their creators, modified them this way to ensure their unwavering loyalty. Without their precious Ketracel white, they experience withdrawal symptoms, violent tendencies, and eventually kicking the bucket. However, some lucky Gemhudar exist with a genetic fluke or adaptation that allows them to produce Ketracel white naturally in their bodies. It's like winning the lottery. They're the ones who can strut around with their heads held high, knowing they don't have to rely on a chemical fix. These warriors got some serious skills as well. Excellent vision? Check. Super strength? Double check. These sneaky devils can even shroud themselves, becoming undetectable to both the naked eye and senses. It's like playing hide and seek with an interdimensional master, and good luck trying to stun them with your phasers set to stun. Nope, they're resistant to that too. Q. The Q are Immortals, folks. They've got all the time in the universe to play around with. Not only can they transform matter into energy in the blink of an eye, but they can also teleport wherever the heck they want. Need a ride to the other side of the galaxy? Boom! They're there before you can say, "Beam me up, Scotty." But wait, there's more. These funky beings have a knack for time travel. They can hop into the past, present and future like it's a Sunday stroll through Central Park. Forget about pesky timelines and paradoxes. The Q play by their own rules, bending the fabric of reality to their whims. Oh, and did I mention their IQ? These brainiacs have an average IQ of 2,000. That's like Einstein on steroids, my friends. They've got the smarts to back up their mind-blowing powers. Most Q are pretty respectable, using their powers for cosmic good. But there's always that one in every crowd, right? Some of these Q are downright mischievous. They love toying with the lower races, making them scratch their heads and question their own existence. But despite their limitless power and mischievous nature, all Q have one thing in common. They're all named Q. Yeah, you heard that right. It's like their parents got lazy with the naming process or something. Maybe they figured being all-powerful beings was enough of a distinction. Who needs fancy names when you can bend reality at will?
Your band of murderers to death!
Sharon native. These endangered beings from the planet Sharon are a real mystery. Not much is known about their biology, but let me tell you, they've got some seriously impressive longevity. We're talking lifespans that make Yoda look like a spring chicken, over 50,000 years. Physically, the Sharonians are humanoid, but they've got a striking feature. Half of their bodies are black, and the other half is white. But which side is which varies from individual to individual. Now, here's where things take a dark turn. The Sharonians have a seriously messed up culture. It's like they've taken racism to a whole new level. The black on the right side folks think they're the bee's knees, superior to their white on the right side counterparts. And don't even get me started on how they view monocolored lifeforms like us humans. They look down their half-black, half-white noses at us like we're some kind of space amateurs. And let me tell you, these two factions do not get along. It's a full-blown civil war, with each side persecuting the other. It was a brutal war, wiping out almost the entire population. Only 2 survivors remained, one from each faction. Can you imagine being the last of your kind? But the coolest thing about them is their tech. We're talking top-of-the-line technology, with cloaking devices and shields that can make computers go haywire. And get this, some of these folks can control entire starships with their minds. Just a little willpower, and boom! They've got a massive vessel dancing to their tune. Bajorans. These sapient humanoids call the planet Bajor in the Alpha Quadrant their home. They look pretty much like us humans, except for one quirky feature. They've got these funky horizontal creases on their noses. This is an ancient species. We're talking 500,000 years of history here. In their prime, the Bajorans were the big shots of the Alpha Quadrant, excelling in science, arts, math, and philosophy. They were like the Einsteins and Picassos of their time. The Bajorans took their first baby steps into the final frontier back in the 16th century, cruising around in solar-powered ships. But they didn't quite hit warp speed until the late 24th century. However, later things took a dark turn for the Bajorans. The Kardashians swooped in and annexed their precious planet. The poor Bajorans were enslaved, their resources plundered. The Bajorans fought tooth and nail against the Kardashians, rebellious to the core. They weren't content with playing second fiddle in their own backyard, and they reconquered their freedom, showing those Kardashians who's boss. The Bajorans aren't completely similar to humans. They have a mirrored heart, horizontally, and they live at least 100 years. That's a lot of years to live and prosper. But let me tell you, that's just scratching the surface. With their ancient roots, who knows how long these folks can kick around the galaxy? they might just give Methuselah a run for his money.
Wait! The hull! Magnify!
Yes, sir.
Romulans. They are imperialist Vulcan cousins who call the planet Romulus their stomping ground in the Beta Quadrant. These folks are like the cooler, edgier relatives of the Vulcan gang. Now, the Romulans have a juicy backstory that goes way back in time. In the 4th century AD, the Romulans' ancestors had a serious case of sibling rivalry with the Vulcans. The Civil War got so heated that the Romulans said, "See you later, Vulcan," and packed their bags to find a new home. So, where did the Romulans end up? They made their grand entrance on the scene and settled on the planet Romulus. But they didn't stop there. They set their sights on the nearby planet Remus and said, "Hey, you guys look like a great workforce." And just like that, they enslaved the Remus inhabitants. And voila! The seeds of what would someday become the Romulan Star Empire were planted. If you think these Romulans are any different from their Vulcan cousins, you're wrong. I mean, even early genetic scans showed that Romulan DNA was practically indistinguishable from Vulcan DNA. They've got all the classic Vulcanoid traits, like the copper-based blood and those iconic pointy ears and eyebrows. The Romulans are simply like the rebellious cousins of the Vulcan family.
Our scans show you have one of our crewmen aboard. I assume you're here to return him.
Nausicans. Nausicans are aggressive spacefaring bad boys who belong to the planet Nausicaa. We're talking the 22nd to 24th centuries here. During that time, these Nausicans had quite the presence in the Alpha Quadrant of the Milky Way galaxy. These guys were all about the shady side of life. Think space piracy, smuggling, burglary, and wait for it, bar fighting. Yeah, you heard me right. But hey, they've got skills too. Need a personal bodyguard? Look no further than a Nausicaan. These towering, hulking dudes are noticeably taller and stronger than your average human. I mean, they could give the Hulk a run for his money. And their skin? Picture a greyish tan that lets you know they mean business. They've got these small tusks or bony mandibles surrounding their mouths, giving them a unique, intimidating look. These Nausicans have got some serious durability. They're like the Energizer bunnies of pain resistance. I mean, there was this one episode where 2 Nausicans decided it would be a great idea to throw darts at each other's chests instead of a dartboard. Just for fun.
On behalf of all
Ferengi. The Ferengi humanoid beings hail from the rainy planet Ferenginar, and I must say they're my favorite so far. They've got a culture that's all about the money, money, money. When it comes to the Ferengi, it's all about that sweet, sweet capitalism. These guys live and breathe the principles of an economy driven by financial success. They're like walking, talking entrepreneurs with their sights set firmly on the profit. Despite their reputation for being shrewd and cunning in their pursuit of profit, the Ferengi have some surprising limits. Sure, in the early days of encounters with the Federation, it may have dabbled in a bit of piracy, thievery, and smuggling. But when it comes to crossing certain lines, even they have their standards. Unlike some other species, humans, the Ferengi have never stooped to the lows of slavery, genocide, or racism. Nope. Not their style. They may have dipped their toes in the slave market of other species back in the 22nd century. Hey, nobody's perfect, but you won't catch them enslaving their own kind.
Well done, Odo.
Changeling. A sapient amorphous race with the most mind-blowing shape-shifting abilities you can imagine. These changelings can transform themselves into just about anything, from solids to liquids, gases, and even plasma. They're far from your conventional life forms. Their natural state is a golden liquid. Yep, you heard that right. These shape-shifting marvels are like living, breathing goo, ready to take on any form that strikes their fancy. They've got a biomolecular structure known as their morphogenic matrix, which is way cooler than any set of cells. And speaking of cool, they're not bound by the chains of aging, like us mortals. The changelings are so unique that their minds are off limits even to natural telepaths. You won't be able to read their thoughts, no matter how hard you try. These shapeshifters have faced some serious discrimination in their time. Other races were so darn afraid of their incredible abilities that they ended up hightailing it to a rogue planet in the Omarian Nebula, nestled snugly in the Gamma Quadrant. It's a race that'll twist and turn, shift and morph, keeping you guessing at every turn.
They take 9 months to grow back.
If left untreated.
Andorians. These blue-skinned, silver-haired humanoids are as fierce as they come, with a militaristic streak that's hard to miss. The Andorians hail from the moon Andoria, the heartland of the mighty Andorian Empire. They're one of the founding members of the United Federation of Planets, but don't let their diplomatic ties fool you. These folks are warriors through and through, Stun settings? They don't bother with those. When it comes to weaponry, it's all about full throttle action for these fierce fighters. According to their culture, serving in the Imperial Guard is the pinnacle of Andorian pride. Military rank isn't just a title for them, it's a measure of social reputation. Some might even call them a little hot-headed, even violent at times. But hey, that's just how they roll. Oh, and let's not forget about those fantastic antennae. These supracranial beauties not only give the Andorians a distinctive look, but also aid in their balance. Losing one of those antennae is a major blow to their pride. It's a humiliating experience that can leave them partially disabled and unable to throw down in a fight. Tribbles. These are the cutest little troublemakers in the galaxy. The Tribbles. They're from a planet called Iota Geminorum 4. These furballs may seem harmless, but don't let their innocent appearance fool you. They're eating, reproducing machines that can turn any spaceship into a Tribble-filled chaos zone. These round, fluffy critters come in all shades of brown, grey, cream, white, or even pink. They're herbivores, so you won't catch them chomping on your sandwich, but boy, can they eat. And when we say reproduce, we mean reproduce like there's no tomorrow. These little buggers are born pregnant, so you can imagine the baby boom that's about to hit. They can become an invasive species, spreading like wildfire if given the chance. Tribbles may be physically harmless, but they'll give you one heck of a headache. With their perpetual hunger and lightning-fast reproductive abilities, they can turn a well-stocked pantry into a Tribble buffet in no time. They reproduce asexually, and each Tribble pops out about 10 offspring every 12 hours. Even though they're limbless, they can cling to smooth vertical surfaces. You never know where you'll find a Tribble. On the ceiling, on your shoulder, or even hiding in your sock drawer. Oh, and Tribbles have a tranquilizing effect on the nervous system of us humanoid types. So if you're feeling a bit stressed out, just snuggle up with a Tribble and watch your worries melt away.
Kazar.
Trill. These spacefaring humanoids hail from their namesake planet, where they share the spotlight with a peculiar bunch called symbionts. Trills are just like us, with their humanoid appearance and all. But what sets them apart is the mesmerizing pattern of spots running along each side of their bodies. A lucky few Trills get to play host to the symbionts. These worm-like creatures are sapient beings in their own right and have been around for centuries. But don't worry, non-host Trills can still tap into the power of telepathy and connect with these enigmatic symbionts. Trills have a ritual called the Jian Tara. Trill guardians, who possess some seriously psychic abilities, can pull off this amazing feat. They temporarily transfer the personalities of previous hosts into other people, giving the current host a chance to interact with them. But here's a little secret the Symbiosis Commission doesn't want you to know. Nearly half of all Trills are biologically capable of hosting these fascinating symbionts. Yet they perpetuate this myth that only 1 in 1,000 Trills can do the job. Why? Well, let's just say the number of available symbionts is a wee bit smaller than the number of potential hosts. Once the Trill and symbiont join forces, it's a true melding of minds. Their brains intertwine, merging their thoughts and forming a brand new personality. It's like a cosmic collaboration of epic proportions, where two beings become something greater than the sum of their parts.
You overlook the unpleasant alternative of punishment.
Telosians. The Telosians are humanoid creatures from planet Talos 4, and let me tell you, they've got some serious cool tricks up their telepathic sleeves. First things first, these Telosians are wise and kind beings. They're also excellent telepaths. These Telosians have the power to create illusions so real, you'll question your own reality. Let's just say that they're the Christopher Nolans of illusions, taking the art of special effects to a whole new level. Now, let's talk about their history. Once upon a time, these Telosians had a seriously advanced civilization. They were the cool kids on the interstellar block, flaunting their mind-blowing technology. But then, a nuclear holocaust happened, and things went downhill really fast. The surviving Telosians sought refuge underground, like cosmic hermits with a penchant for illusions, but they became addicted to their own illusions, losing touch with their tech-savvy side. However, a human starship crash-lands on their devastated planet. And the Telosians, in their illusion-addicted state, hatch a plan to breed humans to recolonize their world. It sounds a bit weird, I know. They thought humans could be their ticket to a comeback tour of Talos 4. But turns out, humans aren't too keen on the whole captivity thing. Who would have guessed, right? When the Telosians realized they couldn't keep humans locked up, they made the wise choice to set them free.
You know, Captain, if I'd had just 2 more vials of white, you never would have had a chance.
Vorta are genetically enhanced top dogs when it comes to Dominion administration. They've got the loyalty of a puppy and the command of a fierce Gemhudar soldier. Once upon a time, the Vorta were these small, timid creatures that were basically living in constant fear. They were little ape-like beings, hiding away in hollowed-out trees, always on the lookout for predators. But then, one lucky day, a changeling stumbled upon a Vorta family while on the run from an angry mob. But guess what? These kind-hearted Vorta took the changeling in, hiding it from the mob and saving its sorry ass. And you know what the grateful changeling did in return? It made them an offer they couldn't refuse. It promised them power, baby. A sweet position within the Dominion, ruling over all their underlings. Thanks to some genetic modifications by the founders, these Vorta folks have some interesting perks. They've got super hearing, like they can hear a pin drop on the other side of the ship. But here's the thing. They've got no time for art, no appreciation for the beautiful things in life. And don't get me started on their eyesight. It's as bad as a human's aim after a night of partying. However, these Vorta can't really taste anything beyond the nuts, fruits and berries of their humble homeworld. It's a permanent fruits and nuts only diet. Here's what gives them a sense of authority. They're in charge of distributing a special drug called Ketracel White to the Gemhudar soldiers under their command. And it's the very reason they're disliked by the Gemhudar. Lithians. These sapient humanoids are not your friendly neighbors. Nope, they've got a knack for telepathic attacks and memory heists that'll leave you reeling. Lithians with their ridged and smooth skin, blood-red eyes and shark-like teeth. These guys mean business. When they decide to launch an attack, it's a two-handed head grab and a surge of electric power from their palms. Zap! Your lights are out and you're drifting into an unconscious state. But that's not the end of the story. While you're in La La Land, the Lithians start digging into your mind, rummaging through your memories and snatching valuable information. It's like a mental burglary, and they've got the master key. Lithian telepathic attacks are almost always a one-way ticket to disaster. We're talking near-fatal encounters here. And here's the cherry on top. Some poor sods wake up from their unconscious state with no memory of the mind assault. It's like they've been visited by a memory-wiping fairy. Poof! The Lithian strike, and your recollection of the whole crazy event goes up in smoke.
Stop! Please stop!
Betazoid. Betazoids are telepathic humanoids from the planet Betazed and are ready to read your thoughts and are members of the United Federation of Planets. They may look like your average human on the outside, except for one eye-catching detail. Their irises are as black as the void of space. Betazoids have a talent for interspecies mingling. They can cozy up with humans, Klingons, and even Tavnians for a little genetic rendezvous. But let's focus on their best feature. Telepathy. Betazoids are natural-born mind readers, thanks to their paracortex getting all fired up. It's like they have an all-access VIP pass to the thoughts and feelings of others. However, these telepathic wonders often struggle to filter out the noise of other people's minds, leaving them with a few screws loose up there. When Betazoids get cozy with other species, their offspring get a special twist in their psychic abilities. Most of the time, these kids develop empathic powers as their primary psionic talent. But when it comes to telepathy, their skills might not be top-notch compared to the Betazoid elite.
Come on. No! I'm not going! We are going to sickbay. No security unless you come with me. Holy!
Ocampa. Ocampa are extraordinary humanoid beings called Ocampa who hail from the planet Ocampa in the far-flung Delta Quadrant. Their history might be shrouded in mystery, but their legends spin tales of a time when they rocked with their mind-blowing abilities. The Ocampa age at a breakneck pace, making their average lifespan a mere 8 or 9 years. Yeah, you heard it right. Blink twice and they're already planning their retirement party, but don't underestimate them. Their accelerated lifespan means they've got a knack for speedy development and learning. Every single Ocampa is blessed with the gift of telepathy as well as eidetic memory, which is basically like having a photographic memory on steroids. They can see the future with precognition, moving things with their minds through telekinesis, and they even dabble in subatomic realm, sensing and manipulating matter at its tiniest level. Crystalline Entity. The Crystalline Entity is a colossal spaceborne lifeform floating through the vastness of the universe like a snowflake on steroids. Its body is a mesmerizing display of pattern. This entity isn't here for a peaceful snowball fight. It's a daunting force that spells doom for any planet it sets its sights on. With its freaky warp travel ability, it zips across the cosmos, leaving a trail of devastated biospheres in its wake. It's like a cosmic electromagnetic vacuum cleaner, sucking up entire ecosystems. Now, this entity isn't one to just mind its own business. It has a nasty habit of attacking spaceships, munching on their unlucky crews like a buffet. But fear not. For those lucky enough to be aboard a trusty Galaxy-class Federation ship, activating their shields becomes their ultimate shield of protection. It's like a galactic do not disturb sign. keeping the Crystalline Entity at bay. What's even more puzzling is that this colossal cosmic snowflake seems to possess a hint of sentience. It's not exactly evil or aware of the havoc it wreaks upon unsuspecting lives. Captain Picard and his crew speculate that it's more like an oblivious giant, unintentionally causing mass destruction and ending the lives of millions. Now, that is what I call an oopsie. Survivors of encounters with this crystalline beast are rarer than a unicorn sighting, but among the fortunate few are our very own Data and his brother. Turns out, this cosmic menace has a curious aversion to artificial life forms. Whether it's unable or simply unwilling to feast on them remains a mystery. In a daring mission, the USS Enterprise D sets out to establish communication with the Crystalline Entity. They tried everything from gravitational pulses to cosmic Morse code, but alas, their efforts were in vain. Tragedy struck and the entity met its demise.
We can handle them. I have an army.
Organians. These bad boys are a powerful bunch of extraterrestrial beings hailing from the planet Organia. They used to be humanoids, but they've gone through some serious evolution. Now, these Organians have transcended the need for physical bodies. They've said peace out to all things physical and embraced to a hardcore pacifist lifestyle. They're all about spreading love and good vibes, but they're also pretty big on isolation. These guys aren't just sitting around meditating and sipping cosmic tea. They've got some serious clout in the galaxy. You see, they're famous for dropping the mic with the Organian Treaty. They finally decided to intervene in the affairs of other species by stepping in and forcing peace between the United Federation of Planets and the Klingon Empire. Now, here's where it gets really mind-bending. We still haven't seen the true form of these Organians. Some say they're made of pure energy, and their true form might just be invisible to us mere mortals. They're known to shapeshift into a more relatable humanoid form to interact with less advanced species like us. And they can pull off some seriously wild stunts. They've got the power to paralyze entire fleets of starships with a flick of their non-existent fingers. Plus, they're like cosmic surveillance cameras, aware of events happening light years away. And if that wasn't enough, they can even manifest themselves on not one, not two, but 3 different planets simultaneously. A Nacine entity was given the name Caretaker, who was left responsible for caring for the Ocampa. He's no ordinary entity. The Caretaker's people made a big oopsie by accidentally wrecking the ecosystem of the Ocampa homeworld, making it uninhabitable. To make amends, the Caretaker stepped up to the plate. Alongside his partner, Suspiria, he decided to stick around while the rest of his crew continued their cosmic journey. Talk about taking one for the team. But here's where it gets really interesting. The Caretaker didn't just twiddle his thumbs and call it a day. He got down to business and created a whole series of underground caverns for the Ocampa to call home. And to top it all off, he made sure they had enough energy to keep the lights on and the party going. Later, in the future, he was on the brink of biting the interstellar dust and needed to find someone compatible to pass on his cosmic duties. Now, the Caretaker had a theory. He figured that only a being like himself could handle the responsibility of caring for the Ocampa. So, he set off on a cosmic scavenger hunt, abducting starships left and right from across the Milky Way galaxy. But the search didn't quite go as planned. Despite all his efforts, the Caretaker couldn't find the perfect match. It was like trying to find a particular comic book in a vast cosmic library. Tricky, to say the least. Now, as the clock ticked and his days drew to an end, the Caretaker decided to go out with a bang. He pumped up the energy reserves of the Ocampa, ensuring they had enough juice to last 5 whole years after he bit the celestial dust. That's some serious foresight right there. However, soon the Caretaker realizes that his caring ways might not actually be helping the Ocampa. They learn to stand on their own 2 feet without relying on his babysitting skills, and eventually he did kick the bucket.
To make Rishon live again.
Dowd are extragalactic immortals, and they're the real deal, fellas. The thing about these Dowd folks is that they've got a serious code against taking lives. Killing is a big no-no for them, but don't push them too far, because when they get hit with unexpected grief and anger, things can get wild. Just ask the poor Huznok, who felt the wrath of a Dowd gone rogue, seeking vengeance for the loss of his beloved human wife. In their true form, these Dowd dudes and dudettes are like translucent energy-based humanoids. A mesmerizing purple glow surrounds them as they wield their exokinetic powers. They can whip up illusions so realistic, you'd think you were living in a comic book. They can mess with psychics like a celestial magician, and they can even take on the appearance of a regular human. But these cosmic powerhouses can do some seriously mind-blowing stuff. We're talking about obliterating entire species and civilizations with a mere thought. That's right, a single thought. The only thing they can't do is bring back the dead, although they can whip up illusions that'll make you swear your favorite hero has returned from the grave. Now, we don't know much about Dark Society because these Immortals are a rare sighting, but despite their godlike power to reshape galaxies as they please, they seem to be all about that pacifist life.
Your emissary offers himself to us. His faith wavers.
Wraiths. These non-corporeal troublemakers are the arch-enemies of the Bajoran prophets, and boy, do they have a history. Legend has it that these sneaky Wraiths used to kick it with the prophets in the Celestial Temple, but something went down and these mischievous beings got the boot. They were banished to the fiery depths of the fire caves on Bajor. Now, according to ancient Bajoran texts, these Wraiths were branded as false prophets. They even got a spiffy nickname, Kost Amogen, which was basically code for troublemakers extraordinaire. When it comes to appearance, these fiery fellows took the form of blazing fire spirits. Other than their pyrotechnic look, they were pretty much identical to the prophets. They had the power to mess with our corporeal minds and induce some mind-bending visions.
He arrives with questions.
There are always questions.
I didn't ask to come here.
Prophets, or as non-Bajorans like to call them, the wormhole aliens. These non-corporeal beings are the ultimate time travelers. Hailing from the Bajoran wormhole, also known as the Celestial Temple to the devout Bajorans, these prophets are worshipped as bona fide deities. They've got a unique perspective on time because they experience it in a non-linear way. When these cosmic beings decide to contact us corporeal folk, they like to put on a little show. They morph into illusory images of people we know. And if that wasn't enough, they can whip out images of the future like it's no big deal. But they can even yank us through time, sending us on wild trips to the past or future. But here's a plot twist. These ethereal beings can actually get trapped in physical objects or places. Imagine being a cosmic deity stuck inside a vase or a shoebox. Not the most glamorous gig, right? They can also possess a humanoid body like an otherworldly hitchhiker taking the wheel. And when they're in control, watch out. Deadly beams of energy might start zapping around, giving their hosts a shocking power boost. But hey, there's always a kryptonite for every cosmic Superman. For the prophets and their not-so-friendly counterparts, the Wraiths, it's all about the chroniton radiation. That stuff is like their Achilles heel, causing temporal disruptions and putting them out of commission. Ramurins are warp-capable humanoids from the Delta Quadrant. They live in a closed society that's tighter than spandex on a superhero. The Ramurins have a golden rule in their lawbook, and it's a biggie. No one, and I mean no one, is allowed to leave or spill the beans about their secretive society. It's like they're playing a real-life game of hide-and-seek, and they're the masters of stealth. Their population is in the millions, but hardly anyone outside their close circle gets a glimpse of them who dare to defy the rules and try to escape this mysterious society. They're in for a wild ride, my friend. The Ramurins unleash their hounds, the Tracers, who are like the bounty hunters of the galaxy. They've got high security clearances, and they're on a mission to bring those fugitives back into the fold. And when they catch them, brace yourselves, because it gets even crazier. They whip out this nifty gadget called a neurolytic emitter, and zap, goodbye memories of the outside world. It's like hitting the cosmic reset button, erasing any trace of life beyond the Ramurin borders. These Ramurins produce a special pheromone that messes with the long-term memory of anyone who crosses their path. It's like a mental eraser that wipes away the memories faster than you can say amnesia. But these Ramurins are so shrouded in secrecy that even their own memories start to fade like yesterday's news. Yep, within hours, those memories are already fading away. And by the next day, it's a clean slate. It's like they've got their own built-in Men in Black neuralizer, wiping away any trace of their existence from your noggin. They've built a fortress of mystery and secrecy, and they're not letting anyone in or out without a fight.
We have destroyed their weapons array.
Maneuver us to within grappling range.
Adians. These humanoid spacefarers have a tail that'll send shivers down your spine. The Adians used to be a thriving civilization, living up in the far reaches of the Milky Way galaxy. But then disaster struck. They got hit with a nasty disease called the phage, and it's no ordinary sniffle. This bad boy has been plaguing their society for over 2,000 years, and it's turned their world upside down. The phage is an ultimate body destroyer, eating away at their tissues and wreaking havoc on their once healthy bodies. With no cure in sight, the Vidians had to get creative to survive. These folks became masters of medical research and interspecies organ harvesting. Yeah, you heard that right. They're like a society of space pirates, raiding other races for spare body parts. Centuries of battling the phage and perfecting their surgical skills turned them into medical maestros. Their science is light years ahead of the Federation, and they've got some seriously nifty gadgets to show for it. Imagine a handheld device that's part scanner, part surgical tool, and part weapon. It's like a Swiss Army knife on steroids, but the Vidians have taken cloning and genetic engineering to a whole new level. They're like mad scientists gone wild, tinkering with DNA and playing God in their quest to survive.
It's not over, Wesley. There's still a way.
The Traveler. These mysterious beings from Tau Alpha C are like the ultimate globetrotters of the universe. These travelers, as they call themselves, are not your average humanoid species. Sure, they look somewhat human, but their hands are something straight out of a sci-fi flick. Just 3 big fingers and no pinky in sight. These cosmic adventurers can manipulate space and warp fields with nothing but their thoughts. That's right, they're like the Jedi of travel, using the power of their minds to zip around the universe at will. And it doesn't stop there. These shape-shifting tricksters can alter their appearance to blend in with other races. Oh, and telepaths, take note. Their minds are off-limits. It's like they've got a big Do Not Disturb sign hanging around their mental space. Betazoids? I hope you brought your backup plan, because you won't be able to peek into these travelers' thoughts. These cosmic nomads claim that thought is the foundation of reality itself. They believe they can focus their thoughts like a camera lens, and they can traverse space, time, and even dimensions. And why do they embark on these mind-bending journeys? Pure curiosity. They travel without a destination or purpose, fueled solely by their insatiable desire to explore. But hey, who can blame them? With the whole universe as their playground, why not satisfy that cosmic wanderlust?
Something about your maternal ancestors.
Tholians. They're like the spider cousins you never knew you had, with a flair for territorialism. The Tholians are from the class-wide planet Tholia, but don't expect a warm welcome if you ever find yourself knocking on their doorstep. These guys are about as reclusive and xenophobic as it gets. They've built a reputation for being really party poopers when it comes to sharing their space. They have a semi-transparent orange crystalline exoskeleton encasing their bodies. Peek beneath that fashionable exterior and you'll catch a glimpse of fluid swirling around. It's like a psychedelic lava lamp. Their bodies are something out of a sci-fi nightmare and a dream, all at once. A somewhat humanoid torso is perched atop 6 thin, jointed arachnoid legs. The Tholians have a bit of a habit when it comes to annexing surrounding systems. It's like they've got a real estate bug, always looking to expand their territory. But let's not forget their tech achievements, Tholian webs. These energy filament nets are the stuff of legends. Imagine specialized Tholian spacecraft weaving these babies into existence to immobilize enemy vessels.
Whoever you are, I found this waste zone first.
We're not
Telexians. These warp-capable wonders hail from the planet Talax in the Delta Quadrant. They have a humanoid form and are adorned with splashes of yellow to reddish-brown spotting all over their heads, arms, and bodies. It's like they've got a Jackson Pollock painting on their skin, and they sport pale skin and a luscious plume of ginger hair across the top of their heads. It's like they took a cue from the fiercest feline predators in the universe. Don't let their whimsical appearance fool you, though. These Telexians are more than meets the eye. Their stocky build and densely packed upper body muscles make them prime candidates for the Borg's combat drone wish list. But let's not get too serious here. Telexians are known for their light-hearted nature and a sense of humor that can make the stars themselves crack a smile. They're the kind of folks who always have a joke up the sleeve and a helping hand ready for anyone in need. Need a space taxi? They've got you covered. Need a shoulder to cry on? They're there with a sympathetic ear. Telexians are the besties you never knew you needed. They've got a spiritual side that's as vast as the universe itself. It's like they've tapped into the cosmic forces that bind us all together and found solace in the mysteries of the cosmos. They're the kind of people who can meditate on the beauty of a supernova while cracking a cosmic joke. Talk about cosmic balance. The Salt Vampire. The curious case of the Salt Vampire, or as the fancy folks call it, the M113 creature. A beast-like creature roaming the desolate desert world of planet M113, where ruins of an ancient civilization lay scattered. But don't let that rugged exterior fool you. The Salt Vampire is more than meets the eye. Beneath its savage appearance lies the mind of a sapient and highly intelligent being. This creature is not your average run-of-the-mill monster. It's got brains to match those sharp claws. This creature craves sodium chloride like we crave our morning dose of caffeine. In fact, it needs so much salt that it can literally suck it out of other beings through the sucker-like structures on its fingers. Unfortunately, this process usually ends in the unfortunate demise of the salt donor. The Salt Vampire can physically change its appearance like a shape-shifting superhero. It can tap into its telepathic powers to project illusions into the minds of unsuspecting victims. Hirogen, a nomadic species of hunters traversing the vast expanses of the Delta Quadrant like intergalactic wanderers. These guys were no amateurs when it came to civilization and technology. In fact, their ancient ancestors had some serious knowledge and advanced gadgets. In the 24th century, the Hirogen had shed any ties to a homeworld. They were pure nomads, driven solely by the insatiable thirst for the hunt. To them, other life forms were nothing more than prey. These hirogen were towering giants, making other humanoid species look like sidekicks in comparison. And don't even get me started on their physical prowess. With muscles and a nervous system that puts the Hulk to shame, they were the apex predators of their quadrant. And let's not forget about their super senses. These hunters had acute sensory perception, perfect for sniffing out their prey and staying one step ahead of the game. The hirogen knew that comfort was for amateurs. Their technology was all about hunting. Their body armor came equipped with internal life support systems because you can't let a little thing like oxygen get in the way of a good chase. So, if you ever come across the hirogen, remember to tread lightly. They may have the knowledge and tech of a super advanced civilization, but their primal instincts and unyielding pursuit of prey make them the true cosmic hunters. The Gorn, a species of reptilianoid humanoids with skin as green and rubbery as that Hulk action figure you've got on your shelf. These guys are no pushovers when it comes to strength, giving even the mightiest humanoids a run for their money. Sure, they may not be as quick and agile as some, but when it comes to endurance, they've got it in spades. They're what you call poikilothermic beings, which means they prefer to bask in warmer climates. But be warned, if you turn up the heat too much, their brains might start scrambling like a sunny side up. There's a silly prejudice that all reptiles are less intelligent than mammals. Well, newsflash, fellas. That's about as wise as thinking your mum's basement is the coolest hangout spot in the universe. The Gorn are just as smart as us humans, if not smarter. The Gorn has a lot in common with Earth's extinct Velociraptor species. Think about their size and bite radius, and you'll get an idea of just how intimidating these creatures can be. They've earned quite the reputation as an extraordinarily dangerous species, and it's not just because they've got sharp teeth and strong jaws. They've got the brains to match. Species 8472. Undeen, also known as Species 8472. These guys are far from your typical humanoid species. They're a tripedal species that hail from fluidic space. These undeen possess an exceptionally dense DNA structure, organized in a triple helix configuration, which represents the highest level of genetic coding encountered thus far. And get this, they've got not one, not two, but up to 5 sexes. They have an immune system that can destroy anything that dares to penetrate their bodies. Chemical, biological, and technological. Nothing stands a chance against their defense systems. Those bad boys will infect your cells, munching away at your insides like a midnight snack. They can even survive the vacuum of space, because, why not? They're excellent telepaths too. Undeen are fast, flexible, and mighty strong. With their dense musculature and increased height, they can zip around faster than your average humanoid or even the Borg. Force fields? Child's play for them. Bulkheads? They'll rip through them like tissue paper. They're like unstoppable forces of nature. Their technology is something that's never been seen before. Like their ships, bioorganic wonders of the universe. These babies are living vessels. And I'm not talking about a couple of houseplants hanging around the bridge. Nope, the walls and floors are flesh, and the structural supports are made of bone. It's like stepping into a twisted nightmare where ships have a nervous system and neuropeptides run the show. The Undeen are a highly xenophobic bunch. They think they're the purest of the pure, genetically superior to all other life forms. Anyone daring to enter fluidic space is seen as contaminating their realm.
Bry and Jerry and Lunga.
Temerians. The Temerians, also known as the Children of Tama. These humanoids from Sigma Tama 4 are as fascinating as they come, a species whose entire way of communication revolves around metaphors and references. Want to say hello? Well, you better come up with a metaphor that hits the mark. But it's not just their linguistic quirks that sets them apart. Take a look at their physical features. Light brown skin, cranial ridges, and elongated slit-like nostrils. They're like a blend of uniqueness and distinction. The Temerians are all about giving diplomacy a shot, even if it means facing failure after failure. They genuinely strive to establish friendly relationships with other species, and they've got a soft spot for non-lethal approaches to conflicts. Don't be fooled though, these guys are no pushovers. Their technology puts them on par with the Federation in the 24th century. Warp drive, phasers, and transporters? Yeah, they've got them all. They've mastered the art of messing with planetary travel. They've developed a nifty little trick that involves scattering particles into a planet's atmosphere. It renders transport to and from that planet impossible while still allowing sensors to gather information. So, there you have it, the Temerians, masters of metaphor, seekers of diplomacy, and tech-savvy space explorers. Horta. These sapient, silicon-based creatures hail from the dark and mysterious caves of planet Janus 6. These incredible beings shattered all previous scientific notions about life forms. A species made of silicon? That's right. Forget everything you thought you knew about the building blocks of life. The Horters were the trailblazers, the pioneers of silicon-based life forms. They proved that imagination can become reality. Now, let's talk about their unique abilities. These mighty Horters secrete a super-strong corrosive acid that would make your science teacher's jaw drop. With this acid, they carve out perfect round tunnels in the rock, effortlessly gliding through them like mining pros. They feast on rocks and minerals, turning the very earth into a buffet. Did you know Horters don't need to breathe oxygen? No, it's like they're playing by their own rules. Oxygen doesn't faze them in the slightest. While the Horters might seem a tad sluggish, don't underestimate their speed and flexibility. These rocky beings can move with surprising agility, zipping around those tunnels. And if you think you can zap them with a phaser, think again. Horters have a natural resistance to phaser shots. It's like they're wearing a mineral-based armor that says, "Nope, not today." Metrons, a race so powerful and mysterious that they make the rest of the alien races look like mere mortals. In the year 2267, the USS Enterprise found itself face-to-face with these enigmatic beings during a pursuit of a Gorn ship. The Metrons, with a sense of flair that would make any comic book villain jealous, deemed both the Federation and the Gorn as savages. To teach them a lesson they'd never forget, the Metrons whisked away the captains of both ships to a distant planet. But this was no mere sightseeing tour. They were forced to engage in a battle to the death, a fight that would determine the fate of their respective ships. Now, let's talk about the Metrons themselves. These beings had the wisdom and experience of centuries, making Captain Kirk feel like a spring chicken in comparison. The one who met Captain Kirk was approximately 1,500 years old, but looked as youthful as a boy. But it doesn't stop there. Fellas, the Metrons possessed powers that would make Q himself take a step back. They could manipulate mind-boggling forms of energy that had Starfleet scientists scratching their heads. Comprehensive scans from great distances? No problem. Instant matter transportation? They had it in the bag. And if that wasn't enough, there were whispers that they could even terraform planets with ease. We're talking next-level science and technology here, folks. The Metrons were light years ahead of the Federation, leaving even the 24th century Starfleet in the dust. Kazar. These aggressive humanoids from the Delta Quadrant may look somewhat familiar, but they've got a few quirks that set them apart. They have distinctive ridges on their forehead and a skin color that adds a unique flair to their appearance. They're like humans with an extra dash of pizzazz. But the Kazon weren't always the masters of their own destiny. Oh no. They were once slaves under the thumb of the Trabe, a conquering race who thought they could call the shots. The Trabe had a brilliant, or diabolical, depending on how you look at it, strategy to keep the Kazon in line. They made them fight each other. When it comes to technology, the Kazon were a bit late to the party. They didn't have much to call their own, so they resorted to stealing from the Trabe. With that, Kazons now possess deflector shields, tractor beams, and energy weapons. They may not have had fancy gadgets like transporters and replicators, but they were no strangers to warp drive. They made the best out of what they had and mastered Trabe's stolen tech like a boss. Breen. Breen are extraterrestrial humanoids and hail from the icy planet of Breen. And boy, are they a mysterious bunch. Their true appearance? Well, that's still a big question mark. You see, these guys are like cosmic ninjas, always wearing their refrigeration suits and keeping us guessing. We can only catch a glimpse of their masks, which seem to suggest they might just have a snout. The Breen don't have any blood or other liquids coursing through their bodies. Nope, they're like walking refrigerators, keeping things cool on the inside. It's like they're on a perpetual brain freeze. Oh, and speaking of brains, just like our favorite Ferengi friends, the Breen boasts a 4-lobed brain. Who knew brain structure could be such a hot topic in the cosmos? Breen aren't just a bunch of hermits hiding on their icy planet. Oh no, they're also one of the heavyweights in the military department. These guys mean business. Despite their reclusive nature, they pack a serious punch on the battlefield. And when things hit the fan during the Dominion War, guess who decided to jump into the fray? You got it. The Breen joined forces with the Kardashians and the Changelings to take on the Federation, Romulans, and Klingons. It was like the ultimate showdown of the galaxy, and the Breen weren't about to sit on the sidelines with their frosty drinks. They wanted a piece of the action.
I believe we have more to discuss than trade disputes.
Tellarites. We're now landing on Tellar Prime to meet the feisty and fur-tastic Tellarites. These spacefaring humanoids are not your average bunch. Picture stout and hirsute beings with bushy hair, impressive beards, and eyebrows that could give caterpillars a run for their money. And let's not forget about the copious amounts of body hair, including their hands, which boast 3 hoof-like fingers. Yep, they're a hairy bunch. Now, here's the really snout-worthy detail. The Tellarites have snouts of their own. We're talking porcine snouts that give them a unique and distinctive look. And if you're trying to catch a glimpse of their eyes, good luck. They're hidden away in deep eye sockets. But what really sets the Tellarites apart is their love for a good argument. These guys are notorious for their crankiness and bad tempers, but they turn that fiery passion into a sport. Arguing is practically a national pastime on Tellar Prime. They can debate about anything and everything, from the best way to brew coffee to the cosmic mysteries of the universe. Orians. They're wanderers of the galaxy who are as mysterious as they are timeless. Externally, these folks look just like us humans, sporting the same structure and a whole range of racial phenotypes. Yep, they blend right in, making them perfect for interstellar incognito missions. But don't let their familiar appearance fool you. The Orians have some extraordinary abilities up their sleeves. First things first, let's talk about their age game. While we're here counting the years, the Orians are laughing their way through centuries. That's right, their lifespan spans centuries. They also possess a unique combination of empathy and telepathy. They can tap into their empathic powers to sense and understand the emotions of others. And when it comes to telepathy, with some effort, they can project an image of themselves into the minds of others. But here's where things get really interesting. The Orians have a special connection to the fabric of space and time itself. They're like the cosmic composers of the universe, listening to the world like a symphony. Every action and word carries a specific resonance, and the Orians can manipulate reality by finding and plucking the right chord. So, whether they're immersing themselves in the ebb and flow of time or tuning into the cosmic vibrations of the universe, the Orians are a race of listeners. They dance to the rhythm of the cosmos and wield their powers with finesse.
So, Lieutenant, haircut today? Trim your beard?
I would like my hair trimmed.
Tholians, the humanoid beings with a vibrant shade of blue that's bound to turn heads. These folks hail from the majestic planet Belarus 9. And let me tell you, they're anything but ordinary. A humanoid body, no hair in sight, which is quite ironic considering Mott the barber, and skin that shimmers with a captivating blue hue. Yep, you can't miss a Tholian in a crowd. Tholians have unique customs and quirks. They're known for their polygamous nature, embracing the idea of multiple partners in their relationships. Love triangles? Nah, they've got love polygons going on. Tholian society is open-minded when it comes to euthanasia. Their laws support the practice, allowing individuals to choose the end of their own journey when the time is right. It's a thought-provoking aspect of their culture, challenging our notions of life and death. Further, Tholians have undeniable influence on the Alpha Quadrant's economy. These beings are savvy when it comes to financial matters, and the prestigious Bank of Tholian stands tall as a symbol of their economic prowess. Oh, and did I mention the Tholian Blues? It's not just a catchy name, it's a whole musical genre that's got everyone tapping their feet across the cosmos.
Hey you, green girls! Draw patients down as they come in. Double them up if you have to. They aren't going to infect each other.
Kardashians, a remarkable feline humanoid species that calls planet Kate, nestled in the 15 Linkis system, their home. They have fur-covered bodies, cat-like facial features, and a posture that's reminiscent of graceful feline creatures. And let's not forget their long, flexible tails, adding a touch of elegance to their already striking appearance. The Kardashians share an evolutionary connection with the Kzinti, akin to the relationship between Vulcans and Romulans. It's a bond that runs deep, connecting them through their shared heritage. You can almost imagine the tales they could share about their fascinating origins. In the 23rd century, Kate joined the esteemed ranks of the United Federation of Planets, becoming an integral member of this interstellar alliance. And speaking of cooperation, have you noticed something interesting about the Kardashian Starfleet uniforms? They seem to have bypassed the need for footwear. That's right, their paws, or should I say their megazoids, go bare on their journeys through the cosmos. Who needs shoes when you've got feline agility, right?
You are the survivors. The others have run off. It would seem that evil retreats when forced.
Excalbians, a species of sapient mineral-based life forms hailing from the fiery planet of Excalbia. These beings are truly out of this world, with their towering height that surpasses that of your average human. Their unique appearance is quite the spectacle, with a slug-like body adorned in tough brown skin, adorned with countless bumps and a rocky texture. The Excalbians possess abilities that push the boundaries of imagination. Imagine being able to transform into solid rock, glowing a vibrant shade of red during the astonishing metamorphosis. And that's not all. These mineral-based beings possess a telepathic prowess that allows them to delve into the thoughts of other beings. With their incredible minds, they can unravel the secrets hidden within the consciousness of those around them. But perhaps the most mind-bending ability of the Excalbians lies in their mastery over matter and energy. They possess the uncanny skill to shape and control these fundamental forces, allowing them to create stunningly lifelike figures that possess their own consciousness. What's even more astonishing is that despite their origins in a volatile and inhospitable environment, the Excalbians can adapt and survive in Earth-like conditions. It's as if they possess an innate resilience that defies the odds, thriving in environments that would render humans unable to endure. Arcturian. Arcturians are a humanoid species that ventured into the ranks of Starfleet. These fascinating beings not only exhibited a love for exploration, but also possessed a deep appreciation for the arts, particularly Shakespearean works. In fact, the Arcturians took their passion for the bard to new heights by reimagining the iconic play Macbeth in a way that only they could. Thanks to the Galactic Cultural Exchange Project, the Arcturians had the opportunity to put their creative prowess on display. But don't let their artistic inclination fool you, for the Arcturians possess a militaristic side as well. They proudly contribute to the Federation's military forces by providing infantry support. Their dedication to defense and combat is reflected in their uniform variations, as they employ cloning technology that results in an abundance of identical soldiers.
How near is Mantilles, Mr. Eriks?
The cloud will envelop it in 3 minutes, 20 seconds, sir.
Edosian, also known as Edoans or Triaxians, hailing from the wondrous planet Eidos. While they may not possess true trilateral symmetry, the number 3 is deeply ingrained in their unique anatomy. Imagine beings with 3 legs, 3 arms, and 3 fingers adorning each hand while their feet proudly display 3 toes. Edosians are renowned for their longevity, enjoying extended lifespans that grant them wisdom and experience spanning countless generations. Their quick reflexes serve as a testament to their agile nature, allowing them to navigate the surroundings with precision. Due to their extended lifespans, Edosians rarely have more than one offspring, making the arrival of a new generation a rare and cherished event. Peacefulness is ingrained in the very essence of the Edosian species. Their tranquil nature shapes their interactions with others. They hold a deep reverence for spirituality, worshipping a pantheon of deities that guide their beliefs. When it comes to architecture, the Edosians embrace functionality over aesthetics. Their structures prioritize practicality and efficiency, creating an environment where form follows function.
To Olympus, Captain Kirk.
Greek gods. The Greek gods, those mighty beings from Pollux 4 in the Alpha Quadrant, were quite the celestial tricksters. They descended upon Earth in the days of togas and sandals, masquerading as gods to the unsuspecting Mediterranean dwellers around 2700 BC. With their humanoid appearance, you wouldn't have guessed they weren't just some quirky humans, but they had a little something extra up their sleeves. These divine pranksters had an additional organ, some sort of energy-tapping device that allowed them to wield their psychokinetic powers. It's like they could tap into the universe's Wi-Fi and direct it with their minds. According to Apollo himself, these Greek gods were forever kicking, never biting the dust, which simply means they're immortal. Aphrodite, Apollo, Artemis, these guys and gals knew how to keep the party going for eternity.
3 million civics! Better than my last life soul for that much!
Orions. Those green-skinned beauties from the PI-3 Orionis system are quite the eye-catchers in the galaxy. Their human-like appearance with a twist of green, ranging from pale to dark, and even a splash of greenish blue, sets them apart from the crowd. But it's not just their looks that make them stand out in the cosmos. Oh no, my friend. It's those alluring pheromones that Orion females release that really turn heads across the stars. These ladies have a knack for making attraction irresistible, leaving even the most stoic space explorers weak in the knees. Orions aren't just a pretty face. They've got a cunning nature that rivals even the most devious supervillains. They're no strangers to conspiracy, piracy, and even slavery. Not just of other species, but their own as well. Talk about playing all sides of the quadrant. In fact, the Orion pirates are so committed to maintaining their image of neutrality that they'll go to extreme lengths. Murder? Check. Suicide? Check. They're not afraid to make some interstellar waves to keep their secrets under wraps. And speaking of secrets, the notorious Orion Syndicate has become a household name in the world of crime. They've earned their stripes as one of the most powerful and feared criminal organizations in the quadrant. When you hear that name, you know trouble's brewing.
I'm afraid this examination is over.
I'm nearly finished.
You are finished.
The Denobulans. The Denobulans are quirky space explorers from Denobula in the Alpha Quadrant and are quite the sight to behold. With their bony ridges adorning their heads and spines, they've got a distinct look that sets them apart from the cosmic crowd. But it's their flexible faces that really steal the show. Denobulans have a talent for making expressions that would make even the most talented contortionist jealous. With their faces, they can pull off the widest smiles you've ever seen, stretching from ear to ear. And if that's not impressive enough, when they get scared, they can puff up their faces like a pufferfish. Now, when it comes to living in space, the Denobulans have it all figured out. With a close-knit and communal lifestyle, they've learned to make the most of their cozy surroundings. Solitude? Not their cup of tea. These folks thrive in the company of others, finding comfort and joy in being part of large groups. They've got a unique take on love and marriage. Polygamy is the name of the game, with a man typically having 3 wives, and each wife having 3 husbands. That's right, we're talking about some seriously extended families here. It's like a Denobulan family reunion every day. Acamarians. The Acamarians, the spacefaring folks from Ocampa 3 in the Beta Quadrant. They may look a lot like us humans, but don't be fooled. They've got some unique quirks that set them apart. While we're pumping red stuff through our veins, Acamarians have a blend of iron and copper flowing through theirs, resulting in blood that's dark red and rare as can be. It's like having a crimson cocktail coursing through their bodies. Now, if you ever come across an Acamarian, take a good look at their forehead. You'll spot a little cleft that goes vertical from the bridge of their nose all the way up to their hairline. It's a distinctive feature that makes them stand out in a crowd. But it hasn't always been a walk in the park for the Acamarians. Clan rivalries and blood feuds have haunted them throughout their history. Those grudges could last for generations, causing more drama than a starship soap opera. Some folks had enough of the feuding and decided to hit the interstellar road, forming a group known as the Gatherers. They became nomadic marauders, wandering the cosmos for a century. One fine evening, the Borg came knocking on Ocampa 3's door, almost wiping them out. It was chaos and upheaval, but those resilient Acamarians didn't give up. They rolled up their sleeves, rebuilt their home, and showed the universe that they're not ones to be easily defeated. Mugato. This species is a not-so-friendly simian-like predator from the wilds of planet Neural. These creatures may bear a resemblance to Earth's apes, but trust me, they've got some features that make them stand out completely. First off, their looks. White fur that's just begging for a good shampoo, a head adorned with a big old horn that says, "I mean business," and a row of spiky spikes running down their backs, leading all the way to a rather short tail. These critters are as dangerous as they come. They've got fangs that pack a venomous punch, delivering a toxin that even the Federation can't find an antidote for. Yep, it's a venom that'll leave you feeling like you've been on a wild roller coaster ride with no way to get off. Not exactly the souvenir you'd hope for from a visit to Neural. They're not solo players in this dangerous game of life. They've got mates, and they stick together like a clingy couple at a party. You won't find a Mugato too far from its better, or maybe wilder, half. They may not hunt together like a well-choreographed team, but they definitely enjoy each other's company in the untamed wilderness. Roylan. The Roylan, those green beings from the planet Roila. Don't let their diminutive size fool you. These folks have got some unique features. Firstly, they have a green bony skin that's as eye-catching as a neon sign in the night, and speaking of eyes, their eyes are as black as the darkest depths of space. But that's not all. Their bodies are covered in scales, giving them a rugged and tough exterior. And let's not forget those clawed digits, perfect for showing off some fancy nail art. These little ones are known for their peaceful ways. They've even made contact with the Federation in the 23rd century, though we're not sure if they joined the Cool Kids Club as full-fledged members. Each of them is as unique as a comic book collector's prized issue. The bony marks on their heads vary widely from one individual to another. It's like they've got their own personal style going on, making them even more fascinating to observe. Leorian. This species is from the planet Leoria, nestled in the mysterious Ionite Nebula. These humanoid beings are quite the sight to behold, and they tend to stick close to home, rarely venturing far beyond their homeworld. They look like a mammalianoid form, sturdy and robust like a bodybuilder on a power trip. Their heads are elongated, giving them a distinct gorilla-like appearance. It's like someone took a gorilla and said, "Let's add a dash of uniqueness to this cosmic mix." But that's not all that sets the Leorians apart. They've got a few surprises hidden under the surface, quite literally. You see, these folks aren't content with just one stomach, they've got two. And let's not stop there. They've got multiple hearts and more than 4 lungs, giving them an extra dose of strength and resilience. It's like they've been upgraded with a supercharged system that can withstand physical damage and toxins like nobody. However, the Tholians are quite mysterious, keeping their secrets close to their chests. Not much is known about their society, except for the fact that they're ruled by the royal family of Luria. And here's something interesting. They have a belief in the concept of an afterlife. When their loved ones pass on, they leave behind gifts of food and beverages, a way to honor and remember them in the great beyond. It's a touching gesture, and it shows that the Tholians hold their ancestors close to their hearts. Betelgeusians. The mysterious Betelgeusians. These avian beings have piqued the curiosity of many, but alas, much remains hidden in the depths of the unknown. What we do know is that they had a diplomatic connection with the United Federation of Planets, and even had some brave souls serving in Starfleet. They're a species of ornithoid creatures with features reminiscent of our fine, feathered friends. These Betelgeusians are as intriguing as they come, with their avian characteristics setting them apart from the more common humanoid species. But when it comes to their language, the Betelgeusians have a tongue all their own, known as the Betelgeusian language. It's a melodic symphony of chirps, trills, and tweets that only they can truly understand. Imagine having conversations filled with a chorus of bird-like sounds, a language that's as unique as their very existence. However, the Betelgeusians remain a species of mystery, leaving us to wonder about their grand adventures and the tales that lie within their wings.
Hello, Beauregard. How are you today, darling?
Her name's Gertrude.
No, it's a he plant.
Beauregard, the magnificent Beauregard. A flower-like wonder with a touch of whimsy. This little creature brings a burst of color and charm to the starship USS Enterprise. As Yeoman Janice's loyal pet, Beauregard may be sessile, but don't let that fool you. This beauty is highly mobile. It has a vibrant greenish body that can retract into a tubular structure and looks like those wiggly marine polychaetes you might find deep on the ocean floor. But here's the twist. Instead of leaves and stems, Beauregard boasts delicate pink petal-like structures surrounding its mouth. It's like a floral masterpiece coming to life. Now, despite its floral appearance, Beauregard's behavior is more animalistic than botanical. It's not your average potted plant. This little darling emits an array of enchanting sounds, filling the starship with its melodious symphony. Who knew a flower-like creature could entertain the crew with its unique melodies?
We want your ship pieces to add to our ship pieces so that we have all the ship pieces!
Look, just stop.
Packled. The Packleds. A race of dim-witted but crafty beings in the Milky Way galaxy. These guys may not be the brightest stars in the universe, but they have a knack for one thing: stealing technology from other races. Now, here's the thing. It's widely believed that the Packleds couldn't have developed their own spacefaring technology. Nope. They're more like intergalactic scavengers, cobbling together bits and bobs from Romulan, Klingon, and Gerada tech. It's like they raided the space junkyard and slapped it all together without really knowing how it works. An engineer aboard the USS Enterprise once analyzed a Packled ship and discovered this hilarious mishmash of stolen technology. These Packleds were so clueless that even their appointed engineer couldn't fix their own ship. Imagine that. Captains of high-tech ships scratching their heads as they try to decipher a tangled mess of random parts. Sure, the Packleds may think they're clever, but the truth is, they're still pretty gullible and easily fooled. Anar, the cool and unique subspecies of the Andorians. These folks are like the pale-skinned cousins of the Andorians, but with a twist. You see, they reside in subterranean cities nestled in the chilly northern polar region of the moon, Andoria. Now, the Anar may be blind, but don't underestimate their perception powers. These guys have some serious telepathic abilities that make up for their lack of sight. They can tune in and perfectly perceive the world around them, like they have a built-in radar system. Communication is a breeze for the Anar. They use their telepathic talents to have deep chats with their fellow Anar, exchanging thoughts and ideas in a snap. But don't worry, they're not nosy little mind readers. They respect the privacy of other species and never poke around in someone's thoughts without permission. The Anar were once thought to be nothing more than a mythical legend by most Andorians. But surprise, surprise, they're real. And they've got some seriously cool underground cities to prove it. These cities are nestled snugly in the moon's northern region and are protected by an energy-dampening field. When it comes to leadership, the Anar takes a laid-back approach. They don't have political leaders telling them what to do. Instead, when the need arises, they choose a representative to speak on their behalf.
It's not our custom to have guests here at all, let alone hold anyone against their will.
The artificial life form would not allow them to leave.
Baku. These guys may look just like us humans, but trust me, they're far from ordinary. They call the ringed planet Baku their home, in a wild and wacky area of space called the Briar Patch. What sets the Baku apart is their secret to everlasting youth. Thanks to the magical metaphasic radiation emitted by the rings of their planet, these folks are basically immortal. Yep, you heard that right. Immortal. They're immune to sickness, ailments, and even the pesky effects of time. Once they hit adulthood, that's it. No more aging for them. The Baku aren't actually native to Baku. No, they're descendants of a tech-savvy, warp-capable civilization who decided to make this vibrant planet their new home back in the mid-21st century. But here's the twist. They chose to ditch most of their advanced gadgets and gizmos for a simpler, back-to-nature lifestyle. But life is never without rebels. Right. Some mischievous young Baku weren't too keen on the agrarian vibes and yearned for a taste of adventure. So they said sayonara to their peaceful life and reclaimed the ancient technology of their ancestors. They became the Sonar, a distinct civilization with a flair for exploration and interstellar nomadism.
It's in Minden. You may impress me.
Benzite. Meet the Benzites, the humanoid wonders from the planet Benzar. First off, let's talk fashion. The Benzites are known for their snazzy breathing apparatuses, a cool contraption strapped to their chests, complete with a tube that puffs out vapor. It's like they're rocking their very own personal fog machine. Now, when it comes to looks, the Benzites are a striking bunch. Their hairless blue skin sets them apart from the interstellar crowd. But it's their nasal lobes that really steal the show. Nasal lobes adorned with fishy baubles. But here's the deal with the Benzites, they're eager to please. Like really eager. They'll bend over backward to offer assistance and make sure everyone's happy. And while that might sound nice, it can come off as a bit obnoxious at times. Imagine someone constantly trying to help even when you don't really need it.
Sir, the Federation ship is creating a disruption in our shield.
If they go out
Sonar, the interstellar troublemakers. These folks may have been exiled from Baku, but they sure know how to make an impression. Let's start with their command structure, known as Sonar Command. They're all about power and authority, strutting their stuff across the galaxy. But here's the thing, they have a reputation for being a tad narcissistic. It's like they're always checking themselves out in the space mirror, making sure they're looking their absolute best. The Sonar are all about the bling. Precious metals, rare jewels, you name it. They can't get enough of those shiny things. It's like they've stepped right out of a fantasy heist comic, plotting and raiding inhabited worlds to satisfy their insatiable desires. But it's not all doom and gloom with the Sonar. They're highly praised for their artistic accomplishments. When it comes to the arts, they know how to put on a show. And their vinting? Oh boy, it's top-notch. They know how to craft the finest beverages in the galaxy. And when it comes to personal relationships, the Sonar have a reputation for being hospitable. Now, whether that means they're actually friendly or just really good at manipulating others is up for debate. Kzinti, the spacefaring race with a feline flair. These mammalianoids may resemble anthropomorphic tigers, but they're more than just big kitties. First things first, these guys are no small fry. Standing at a towering 8 feet tall and weighing in at a hefty 500 pounds, they're definitely not your average-sized humanoid. But here's the thing about Kzinti society. It's all about the boys. They're pretty old-fashioned when it comes to gender roles. Females of the species, known as Kzinreti, don't get much say in the matter. The males rule the roost, and their leader, the patriarch, holds the reins with a hereditary title. The Kzinti see themselves as nothing short of heroes. They strut around like they're the stars of their own action-packed comic book, believing that heroism is in their blood. They value acting heroic and go to great lengths to behave in a way that matches their grand self-perception. When it comes to communication, the Kzinti have their own unique hissing language called the hero's tongue. It's like a symphony of hisses and sibilant sounds, creating a language that's truly one of a kind. And when they write it down, it's a sight to behold. Their written language resembles commas and periods. Arcadians are humanoid aliens who have got a few tricks up their amphibious sleeves. They have a pale skin and long pointed ears. Think of them as a cosmic blend of elf and fish. With those distinctive features, you'll know an Arcadian when you see one. They're like creatures from a fantastical water world come to life. Speaking of water, let's dive into their homeworld, Arcadia. The fifth planet of the Velan Gamma system is where these aquatic adventures call home, and that planet is proudly flying the Federation flag. The Arcadians have a unique way of fueling up. They're natural plankton munchers, chowing down on those tiny oceanic goodies. But did you know they can also complement their nutrition by doing a little something called photosynthesis? That's right, they can soak up the sun's rays and turn them into a tasty treat. When it comes to reproduction, just like our marsupial friends down under, they carry their offspring in a cozy pouch for a few months after they're born. Arcadians live for about 40 to 60 years. That may not sound like a long time compared to some other species out there, but hey, they make the most of it.
What a handsome race.
Antedians. Into the aquatic world of the Antedians live these fish-faced humanoids. They have purplish-blue skin, big old eyes, and a pair of chin baubles that'll make any fish jealous. They have a dorsal fin proudly adorning their heads. These Antedians are a sight to behold, like a funky fusion of fish and humans. Now, the Antedians have a special trick. They can enter a self-induced catatonic state, where they remain completely motionless for days on end. It's like a deep-sea power nap, only longer and fishier. But when they finally emerge from their fishy slumber, they've got one thing on their minds: food. And not just any food. Oh no. These Antedians have an insatiable appetite for enormous quantities of grub. So, if you ever find yourself at an Antedian banquet, make sure to bring your appetite and stretchy pants. Bandai. Bandai, the humanoids of Deneb 4. These folks may not have the most advanced tech or flashy architecture, but they surely are an opportunistic race. The Bandai stumbled upon a wounded cosmic critter and decided to lend a helping hand. They nursed it back to health, but being the clever race they are, they saw an opportunity for some serious civilization advancement. You see, this creature had a special talent, transforming energy into matter, and the Bandai were all about putting that talent to good use. They kept the creature just strong enough to manifest itself as Farpoint Station, their ultimate ace in the hole. With this starbase at their disposal, they were ready to strike an alliance with the Federation and offer them the coolest hangout spot in the cosmos. The Bandai may not have the flashiest gadgets, but they've got a knack for making the best of what they've got. Brykar. The sturdy and stone-skinned wonders of the Brykar. These burly bipeds are like walking mountains with a love for intergalactic adventures. They're as tough as rocks. These brawny beings have skin so hard and durable, you'd think they were carved straight out of a mountain. Blades and sharp objects bounce right off them like ping-pong balls. But here's the thing. Even the mightiest of beings need a little help from time to time. Despite their rock-hard exterior, the Brykar aren't immune to the chills of outer space. Yep, that's right. When they venture into the cosmic void, they suit up in their trusty environmental gear to stay cozy and warm. And don't even get me started on their sheer power. These behemoths make the Thing from Fantastic Four look like a featherweight. Their brawn is matched only by their resilience, making them the go-to species when you need muscle and determination on your side. So, on your next trip in the vast expanse of space, keep an eye out for the magnificent Brykar.
Your species does not deserve a second chance. Great balance.
Baul. These beings are from the planet Kaminar, and are masters of secrecy and technological trickery. The Baul are true isolationists, keeping themselves hidden while toying with their technological prowess to maintain dominance over the Kelpians. The Baul have mastered the art of staying hidden, leaving the Kelpians in a perpetual state of fear. No wonder they're seen as superior beings. Baul are like beings from the depth of an alien ocean. Spindly limbs and retractable spikes on their backs give them an otherworldly persona that's unsettling. But the Kelpians, bless their heart, believe that the Baul are their predators, essential to the delicate balance of their world. It's like a grand cosmic ecosystem, and the Baul are the key players. The Kelpians worship these superior entities and follow the teachings of the great balance that the Baul have bestowed upon them. It's a fascinating dynamic, isn't it? A species hidden in the shadows, pulling the strings and maintaining their hold on a race that reveres them as divine beings.
It's modifying the diode emitter to project something.
Ancient humanoid. The ancient humanoids. These enigmatic beings showed up a mind-boggling 4.5 billion years ago, making them the OG humanoids of the Milky Way galaxy. As far as the history books, or alien artifacts, can tell us, these ancient humanoids were the first of their kind to grace the cosmos. These spacefaring explorers embarked on countless cosmic adventures, seeking out other life forms like a cosmic game of hide-and-seek. But the ancient humanoids were in for a big bummer. Despite their interstellar escapades, they couldn't find a single species like themselves out there. These clever beings hatched a plan that would shape the future of the galaxy. They took matters into their own hands and became cosmic gardeners, seeding the primeval seas of young planets with specially programmed DNA molecules. Their goal? to guide the evolution of life on these planets, nudging it toward the emergence of humanoid-like organisms similar to their own kind. Fast forward to the year 2369, and the truth of our shared humanoid ancestry comes to light. Humans, Klingons, Kardashians, and Romulans all stumble upon the ancient humanoid's message, revealing our cosmic family tree. Now, here's where things get interesting. While the humans and Romulans embrace the idea of a common beginning, the Klingons and Kardashians are left horrified at the thought of distant kinship. Awkward.
Good enough for one. Two would have looked suspicious. Killed one.
Something escaped.
Cameloid. These remarkable humanoid beings have a nifty little trick up their sleeves. They can morph and transform their appearance to mimic other life forms. Now, don't be fooled, my fellow nerds, because these shape-shifting abilities don't come easy for the Cameloids. It takes some serious effort and concentration to pull off these mind-bending transformations. But boy, when they do, they can blend in with the best of them. But back in 2293, the Cameloids were already making waves in the galaxy. The Federation and the Klingon Empire had heard whispers of their remarkable abilities, but most people dismissed them as mere myth. Little did they know, these shape-shifting wonders were the real deal, ready to slip into any role they pleased. However, not every Cameloid has their name up in neon lights. Meet Marcia, a criminal member of the shape-shifting species who found themselves in a bit of a pickle. The Klingons managed to nab Marcia and toss them into the frosty depths of Rora Penth, a frozen prison planetoid. Behind those shape-shifting abilities, there's a whole universe of mystery and adventure just waiting to be uncovered, perhaps in another video.
Attention all crew members. We are initiating Level 5 lockdown protocol effective immediately.
Illyrian. Illyrians are humanoid adventurers that hailed from the Delphic expanse, boldly settling in various corners of the cosmos. Their original stomping ground was in Volterra Nebula, but they didn't stop there. They spread their wings, or tentacles, who knows, and established colonies across a vast expanse of space, including the captivating Hetemit 9. Now, what makes the Illyrians stand out from the interstellar crowd? Well, they were absolute masters of genetic engineering. These cosmic tinkerers believed in adapting their own bodies to fit the planets they called home, rather than terraforming the heck out of everything. And here's where things get truly intriguing. The Illyrians weren't a cookie-cutter species. They were as diverse as the stars themselves, sporting a wide range of appearances and capabilities, from shimmering scales to levitation powers. You never knew what kind of Illyrian you'd encounter in the vast expanse of space. It's like a never-ending cosmic cosplay convention. Kelpian. These lanky, non-spacefaring beings call the planet Kaminar their home, where they share the spotlight with a spacefaring species known as the Baul. They're tall and slender humanoids who have a nifty superpower, the ability to sense danger. When trouble comes a-knocking, their threat ganglia unleash themselves and boldly expose themselves at the back of their heads, kinda like a spidey sense. These Kelpians are surprisingly strong despite their delicate appearance. They can outrun the speediest of speedsters, hitting up to a whopping 80 kilometers per hour. That's faster than a supersonic squid on roller skates. And their senses? Oh boy, they're tuned up to 11. Their hearing is so sharp they could pick up a fish fart from miles away. Now, here's where things take a darker turn. On their home turf, Kelpians, who have undergone a mysterious process called Fahari, are treated like prey. Yep, you heard that right. The Baul, those space-savvy neighbors of theirs, see these untamed Kelpians as nothing more than cattle and, gulp, food. It's a tough life for our Kelpian pals, constantly on their toes and wary of the unknown lurking around every coral corner. Reman. Into the shadows of the Romulan star system, the resilient Remans dwell. These rugged beings call the tidally locked planet Remus their home, sharing the stage with its more renowned sibling, Romulans. But let me tell you, life hasn't been a walk in the park for the Remans. With their gaunt appearance, hairless bodies and pale skin, these Remans could give Dracula a run for his money in the spookiness department. Sunken eyes, pointed ears and sharp teeth complete their haunting ensemble. And guess what? They've evolved to thrive in the darkness, inhabiting Remus's dark side. These Remans are no pushovers. They're physically powerful and practically built for war and combat. Think of them as the heavyweight champions of their star system. But here's where things take a grim turn. The Remans, despite their strength and resilience, have fallen under the shadow of the spacefaring Romulans. They've been treated as second-class citizens in the vast Romulan star empire. It's a tough break for our Reman comrades, forced into laborious roles as miners. And they've also been conscripted as soldiers, fighting in the ranks during the harrowing Dominion War.
Help me open this.
Akali. Akali are humanoid wonders that hail from a Minshara-class planet a mere 78 light-years away from Earth in the Alpha Quadrant. At first glance, you might mistake an Akali for your friendly Earthling neighbor. They rock the humanoid look, but come with a unique twist. Prominent anterior crests adorning both sides of their foreheads. Now, let's rewind to the mid-22nd century when the Akali were living the pre-industrial dream. Life was simple, the air was clean, and the future seemed bright. But then, the cosmic equivalent of a storm hit. Enter the Malurians. These folks had their eyes on Viridium, and they wasted no time setting up a mining operation on the Akali's precious planet. But here's where things take a dark turn. The Malurians' mining process involved the use of tetracyanate 622, causing an epidemic that rocked the Akali society for a grueling 18 months. The disease turned their once radiant skin into a mosaic of patches and unsightly facial lesions. It was a harsh blow, and unfortunately, Akali's medical technology wasn't up to the task of curing this cosmic catastrophe. Algolians. These sapient beings are rocking the Federation, with at least one of them sitting pretty on the Federation Archaeology Council. They have wrinkled reddish-brown skin that's as unique as it is eye-catching. The Algolians have a little something up their sleeves that really gets under the skin of a Ferengi. You see, their ceremonial rhythms, those beats they drum up for special occasions, can be considered downright annoying to those big-eared profit-seekers. And let's not forget the name, folks. Algolian gives us a little clue about their home. It's like a cosmic treasure hunt. You might want to direct your telescopes toward Beta Persei, aka Algol, to catch a glimpse of their homeworld. Who knows what wonders await us in that distant star system. Number 78. Meet Barash, a member of a mysterious grey-like alien species. Now, Barash finds himself all alone on a desolate planet, the last survivor after his homeworld was viciously attacked and his fellow aliens wiped out by some mysterious invader. But here's where the story takes a twist. After spending countless years in solitude, Barash starts feeling the pangs of loneliness, craving some real interaction with another living being. So, what does he do? He comes up with a sneaky plan to lure a passing spaceship to his forlorn planet. How? By faking strange signals that pique the curiosity of any unsuspecting explorers. And guess who takes the cosmic bait? It's none other than the star-studded crew of the USS Enterprise D, the flagship of the mighty Federation. Talk about being in the right place at the right time. Or maybe the wrong place at the wrong time, if you ask the captain. Braella, a funky humanoid species hailing from the planet Brael 4. They've got light brown skin and features that give off a reptilian vibe. But here's where things get cosmically crazy. In the year 2366, the Braella find themselves on the brink of extinction when one of their asteroidal moons decides to go rogue and veer off course, hurtling straight toward their beloved planet. Enter the Federation's finest starship, the USS Enterprise D, led by none other than Captain Jean-Luc Picard. The Enterprise swoops in like a cosmic hero, ready to save the day and rescue the Braella from their imminent doom. Just when things seem like they couldn't get any more bonkers, guess who decides to crash this celestial party? It's the mischievous and all-powerful Q. That's who. With a snap of his omnipotent fingers, Q lends a hand, or maybe a cosmic nudge, to help divert the asteroidal moon and avert catastrophe. Binar. Meet the tech-savvy Binars. These humanoids are from the fabulous planet Binos, and are a duo like no other. They always come in pairs, like a dynamic duo ready to tackle any challenge. These Binars have a unique secret: cybernetic brain implants. Yeah, you heard that right. They've got these nifty brain implants that connect their minds to a super smart central computer back on their home turf. The Binars are rocking lavender skin and sport some seriously enlarged craniums. They may be shorter than your average human, but don't let their size fool you. These little powerhouses are tech wizards, and their skills are second to none. They're not just tech-savvy, they're literally biologically dependent on their master computer. Those cybernetic implants on their heads keep them connected to the mainframe, controlling all the mind-boggling technology on Binos. The Binars have become the go-to experts in the Federation when it comes to all things computers. They've been snatched up as computer technicians and programmers, and boy, are they good at what they do. Commander Quinteros can vouch for it. They're lightning fast and crazy efficient. So, next time you're in need of a tech guru, keep an eye out for those Binars.
You've accomplished nothing.
The sound of your voice is beginning to anger me.
Chalnoth. These savage sapients hail from the untamed planet of Chalna. Imagine a creature that's part beast, part humanoid, and all teeth. Yep, that's the Chalnoth for you. These mammalian bipeds rock not just one, but two sets of gnarly tusks protruding from their lower lips. But it's not just their impressive dental game that sets them apart. These predators have a fierce metabolism. like they're always on the go. In fact, they can only survive for a measly 3 to 4 days without a good meal. You better believe they're always on the hunt, searching for their next tasty treat. The Chalnoth have some serious picky eating habits. Some types of food that may be perfectly fine for Miserians and humans can be downright deadly for our Chalnoth friends. So, if you ever find yourself in a galactic potluck with the Chalnoth, be sure to bring a dish that won't send them into a tailspin. Corvallan. These hairless humanoids have grey-brown, crackled skin, but there's more to these Corvallans than just their striking appearance. They've carved out a niche for themselves as interstellar mercenaries, making a name for themselves in the wild world of commerce. When it comes to getting the job done, these guys are the go-to team. Need protection? They've got you covered. Need someone to negotiate a tricky deal? They're masters of the trade. Operating in the vicinity of the infamous Romulan Star Empire, the Corvallans are no strangers to the complexities of interstellar politics. They navigate the treacherous waters of the galaxy with finesse and cunning, always staying one step ahead of the game. You can bet they've got their fingers in all kinds of cosmic pies. Dopterian. Dopterians, these sapient humanoids, are distant relatives of the infamous Ferengi, so you know they've got some tricks of their own. Short bipeds with mottled skin that's as smooth as a baby's bosom. Oh, and don't forget their unique feature, Ferengi-like noses that add a touch of charm to their already captivating appearance. Just like their Ferengi cousins, the Dopterians have minds that are naturally shielded from telepathic Betazoids. It's like they've got a mental force field that keeps prying minds at bay. So, if you're a Betazoid trying to read their thoughts, you might as well give up and go grab a cup of Ractagino instead. Esker. The bold and adventurous Esker. These spacefaring humanoids are all about one thing, the thrill of the hunt. They live for the adrenaline rush that comes from tracking down dangerous and cunning creatures on wild planets like Dakala. But here's the catch. The Esker have a bit of a blind spot when it comes to recognizing the sapient shapeshifters known as the Wraith species. Despite their keen senses and expertise, the Esker have a little hiccup when it comes to the Wraith species. These shapeshifters, with their extraordinary abilities and undeniable intelligence, manage to fly under the Esker's radar. It's like the Esker have a blindfold on when it comes to recognizing the Wraiths as sapient beings. A group of Esker, brimming with confidence and armed to the teeth, is always ready to take on any formidable prey. Their culture is built around the art of hunting, and they pride themselves on their ability to outwit and conquer even the most cunning life forms. Farian. Native to the planet Farius Prime, these humanoid species bear a striking resemblance with humans. Well, maybe except for that ridge that goes from their nose to the forehead. Fast forward to the late 24th century. Organized crime has run rampant, and danger lurks around every corner of their Farian homeworld. On this now chaotic planet, you'll find the Farians taking on high-ranking roles within the notorious Orion Syndicate. But they're not alone in this criminal playground. Sharing the spotlight are a motley crew of species, including the shrewd Bolians, the sneaky Dopterians, and even some humans looking to make their mark. Gekli. Typically, they're a fusion of plasma energy contained within a solid shell made of silicates, carbonaceous chondrites, and actinides. When it comes to size, these bad boys give even a Galaxy-class spaceship a run for its money. Feeling threatened? Brace yourself for a shocking encounter as the Gekli can unleash powerful electrical discharges. Zap! It's their way of saying, back off, space intruders. As if that wasn't enough, these captivating creatures possess the ability to change colors with lightning speed, much like the quick-thinking cuttlefish. Their vibrant display is likely a form of communication among their kind, an interstellar language of neon hues. The Gekli are not ones to stay quiet. They emit radio waves and other mysterious forms of radiation, allowing them to communicate across vast distances in the cold expanse of space. It's like they've got their own cosmic radio station broadcasting tunes that only their kind can decipher. Now, how these marvelous beings navigate the vastness of space remains a mystery. Their propulsion system is unknown, but one thing's for sure, they glide through the vacuum with the grace of interstellar ballet dancers. But just how sapient are these extraterrestrial giants? Are they the cosmic intellectuals we've been waiting for? Or do they simply go with their stellar flow? Only time and further exploration will unveil the truth behind the Gekli's intellect. Tholian. The Tholian species. Another fascinating addition to the ever-expanding roster of the United Federation of Planets. It seems that Geordie LaForge, the engineer aboard the USS Enterprise D, has delved into the depths of Tholian culture, even mastering some of their language. The Tholian people, with their unique characteristics and customs, found themselves aligned with the noble cause of the Federation. Their presence within the ranks of Starfleet speaks volumes about the unity and diversity that defines the Federation's core values. And let's not forget about Aquio Lunari, a remarkable member of the Tholian species who's taken up the Starfleet uniform. As a Starfleet officer, she embodies the spirit of exploration and cooperation that lies at the heart of the Federation. Together with her fellow crewmates, she traverses the cosmos, charting new territories and fostering interstellar understanding. Tarlac. Well, the Tarlac. Once a proud and independent sapient humanoid race, now caught in the clutches of the mighty Sona Command. In the early 24th century, the Tarlac, along with their fellow conquered species the Allura, found themselves on the wrong side of the conquering equation. From being described as a primitive culture, they were swiftly transformed into a labor force, serving the Sona in various capacities. Whether it's being servants or soldiers, these Tarlac and Allura became the backbone of the Sona operations. But let's not lose hope. Even in the face of oppression, there's always room for rebellion, for the spark of freedom to ignite. Telosian. These spacefaring humanoids hail from the planet Tylonis 4, but let me tell you, things ain't all rainbows and sunshine over there. It's the year 2369, and chaos reigns supreme on Tylonis 4. The Tylonian planetary government, gone, baby, gone. And you know what caused the whole shebang? Well, the assassination of the Prime Minister, leaving a major power vacuum. With the government out of the picture, it's a free-for-all on Tylonis 4. Anarchy has taken hold, my friends, and rival factions are duking it out for power and resources. It's like a cosmic Game of Thrones, but without the fancy crowns and dragons.
I am Kaldos, captain of the Venturi ship Retaliation.
Venturi. These scaly pink-colored humanoids have been making quite the splash aboard the one and only Deep Space Nine. Their unique appearance catches your eye as their scaly pink skin glistens under the artificial lights. And get this, they don't have visible noses or ears. It's like they're rocking a whole new level of appearance, defying the norms of humanoid anatomy. Let's take a peek at their hands. These Venturi have got some serious claws, ready to take on whatever challenges come their way. Oh, the adventures these Venturi must have. Whether they're exploring unknown realms, engaging in interstellar negotiations, or simply going about their daily lives on Deep Space Nine, there's no denying their captivating presence.
What a disappointment. And after such an entertaining...
Tusk. The reptilian humanoids are from the Gamma Quadrant. Imagine encountering a creature with the perfect combination of agility, invisibility, and a keen hunting instinct. Tusk were created to be the ultimate prey. They possess the remarkable ability to become invisible to the naked eye, making them the ultimate challenge for any hunter. But that's not all. These resilient beings require a mere 17 minutes of rest per rotation, allowing them to maintain their exceptional agility and stay one step ahead of their pursuers. They're built for the hunt, and their bodies are finely tuned machines that maximize efficiency, even storing liquid nutrients for those high-intensity pursuits. The Tusk, also known as the Hunted, was specifically designed by a sapient race to be hunted for sport. Their creators conditioned them in such a way that being hunted and killed is considered an honor. Wraith. These shape-shifting creatures are from the rogue planet Dakala. Imagine a species that can seamlessly shift their forms, adapting to the world around them like a chameleon in the jungle. The Wraiths, in their natural state, resemble elongated sea slugs, but don't let their appearance fool you. These creatures possess a profound intelligence and telepathic prowess that sets them apart. Unlike the advanced civilizations with their dazzling technology, the Wraiths have embraced a simpler existence. They dwell within the lush jungles of Dakala, fully attuned to the natural world around them. They lack the trappings of spacefaring species, choosing instead to navigate the complexities of their home planet where their unique abilities truly shine. Enter the Eska, a race of humanoid hunters driven by the thrill of the chase. However, they fail to recognize the sapience of the Wraiths, regarding them merely as prey to be conquered. In a stroke of fate, the human starship Enterprise NX-01 crossed paths with the Wraiths. Their desperate plea for assistance reached Dr. Phlox, the ship's skilled doctor. Drawing upon his expertise, Phlox concocted a groundbreaking compound capable of masking the Wraith's chemical signature, becoming their shield against the relentless pursuit of the Eska.
Remember us.
Marvelous verdict. As we've seen in the Star Trek universe, a multitude of alien races grace the cosmos with their presence. Each race, with its distinct characteristics, customs, and beliefs, contributes to the rich cocktail of diversity that defines this beloved franchise. These alien races serve as a mirror, reflecting the countless facets of humanity itself. They challenge our preconceptions, broaden our horizons, and ignite our imaginations. Through their encounters with Starfleet and the Federation, they teach us valuable lessons about acceptance, cooperation, and the power of unity in the face of adversity. So, let's continue to explore the cosmos alongside these remarkable alien races. Live long and prosper. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one, and be safe. Thanks, everyone.
My mind to your